Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight for this Florence Spring 2026 Study Abroad Program info session. My name is Kelly, and I am the Study Abroad Program Coordinator. And joining us tonight, we have Dr. Lisa Palmer. She will be teaching in Florence. She will be staying in Florence with you for 3 months. And we also have Kylie Chan here. She's one of our study abroad student ambassador. She actually studied in Florence in spring 2024, and she can share with you about her study abroad experience later. Dr. Lisa Palmer, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Lisa Palmer, and I teach at Kenyatta College. I'm an English professor. I've been there for quite a while. I was actually at Skyline when I was first hired, and then I've been at Kenyatta for more than 20 years. And I also taught abroad in 2011 in Florence and had a fantastic time. So I'm so excited to be going back to Florence with you all this coming spring.
Thank you very much. Kylie will share a little bit about her experience in Florence with you. And after Kylie shares her experience, we'll go to the presentation. Kylie, go ahead.
Hi guys. I'm super excited to share my experience with you guys and to hopefully hear about all about yours once you guys study abroad in Florence and everything. So I studied abroad in Florence in 2024 spring semester, so about a year ago now. And it was honestly my favorite learning experience I've ever got the opportunity to be a part of. While abroad, the classroom experience was totally unique. I mean, just going to class and walking in the city, the route to class, it was all like an adventure at first, and just getting used to it was super eye-opening and getting used to the shift in culture and everything. And in terms of in the classroom experience as well, I feel like the professors really did a great job at making the classes kind of related to the history of Florence in itself and kind of using the city as our classroom. And that was an experience that I never really had before. So that was really cool. And I feel like it made the content of the classes really engaging as well and everything. Um, but we also got to go to museums and whatnot as part of our class as well. I think one class that you guys will really be looking forward to is the study abroad life and culture, since there's a lot of free trips and whatnot to museums and popular spots in Florence that you'd want to see yourself anyways. So that was a really cool way to get them out of the way and to also learn while doing so. It made the experience a lot more unique, I'd say, as in visiting them yourself and whatnot. So yeah, and in terms of student life and everything, I mean, being from a community college, I feel like sometimes you don't meet as many people on the day to day in terms of the classroom. Sometimes it's a lot of, you just go to class and go. Not always, but um, I mean, in Florence, it was a lot more collaborative in terms of the student life and everything. I met a lot of lifelong friends. Actually, Vanessa, which is the other study abroad student ambassador here, I met her in Florence and we're still best friends. We were roommates. And yeah, and also roommates. That was a really cool experience. You guys will have the chance to kind of do a meet and greet and meet people who you could potentially room with as well, and that's a really great opportunity. But just having the experience of rooming with a fellow college student is really cool. And yeah, in terms of interacting with locals and everything as well, I feel like I had a really great time over time. I mean, at the beginning, you're kind of adjusting and it's nice that you have a classroom full of people, even from different colleges that you can connect with and kind of get through the city with and navigate. But over time, I was lucky enough to meet a lot of local friends here and there and familiar faces. And that's really a great part of making the city your home. And I feel like throughout that process, you're definitely bound to learn a lot about yourself and to grow as a person and just to explore beyond your boundaries, which is um, really like an experience that makes you a lot more open-minded and it's a learning experience that is really unique and you can't really get here at home. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see how you guys all adjust to that and how much you guys grow from that as well.
Thank you so much. I want to share with you that Kylie will be transferring to UCLA this fall. Yes, I'm so glad to have her working in our office for this past year. I see her grow and I see her mature, and she's so great. I'll miss her so much. Yeah, Professor Palmer, I'll have you can have the floor right now. You can do the presentation. In the meantime, if anybody have any questions, feel free to type in the chat. And I will try to answer them in the chat. And we will also have Q&A session at the end of the presentation.
Okay, so let me see. Yes, this problem of Zoom screen with not, it's hard to see everything at once. Here we go. Okay, there we go. You got the big picture there? Can everybody see it? Thumbs up?
Yes,
Okay, good.
perfect.
So here's Florence. Does anybody know what that big building right in the middle is called? I know Kylie does. Do you know?
The Duomo.
The Duomo, yes, right in the center of Florence. It's fantastic and hard to forget once you know it, once you've seen it. So here's our program. We run this program. It's not just San Mateo Community College District, but we have 3 other colleges that we work with, or 3 other districts rather that we work with: Los Rios, Santa Rosa, and Contra Costa, which, to Kylie's point about meeting people, you meet people within our district, but also in Californian students who are outside of our district, which is nice. It's nice for students. It's nice for faculty too, because we get to work with each other. Why study abroad? Well, fewer than 10% of US college students study abroad. So that means, how many of you are planning to transfer? Show of hands? 100%, I bet, right? That means you are you're making yourself visible as one of those special students that's going above and beyond and doing something to really enrich their life and to demonstrate, to actually be one of those people who's motivated, but also to demonstrate it. You're showing college admissions and employers skills such as intercultural competence, diversity, problem solving, get along with others, being able to navigate a new place, figure it out, not being overwhelmed, but figuring it out, having confidence in yourself, which you gain from a program like this. Independence you gain, creativity, tolerance, openness, initiative, a sense of humor, hope you already have one, adaptability, flexibility, values, and patience. Because part of traveling is learning to deal with the issues that come up along the way. I just heard from 2 people who were stuck in Spain a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you heard about it. All the electricity went out, and it was really a challenge, but they survived, they managed it, and they learned a lot from the process. So 85% of students agree that studying abroad was the meaningful experience of their undergraduate education. I'll just stop there for a second and tell you, when I was in high school, my high school Spanish teacher was taking students to study abroad. I'm from Seattle. I went to a big public school in Seattle, and my Spanish teacher was taking students to study abroad. And I got so excited, but I decided I wanted to go. I had no money. I saved up my money. I think it was $1,000. This was a few years ago. It was $1,000 for a month to go to 5 cities and 25 cathedrals and 15 museums. I mean, it was insane. And it was the most amazing month of my life. I don't think I slept at all. I learned so much. I met students. That program brought together students from all over the country. And we traveled together. We rode on buses together. We went to all of these events together. And then I came back, and that was the summer between my junior and senior year of high school. So I came back and I was writing applications for admissions to colleges. I think part of the reason I got into Stanford was because I was so excited, and I wrote my enthusiasm, my sense of adventure, my sense of determination and abilities had just grown so much in that month that the essays that I had to write for admissions were just infused with my energy, and I think that really helped. So I can say from experience. Oh, and the thing I want to add, which is kind of amazing, you can see down in the corner of the slide that our partner is AIFS, American Institute for Foreign Study. That was the program that I went with. And it was all the way back in the 1980s. And they were fantastic. I still remember the tour guides. I remember the things that people said. I remember their accents. It's really an amazing program with an amazing, really well qualified people who really love to travel and really love to show people their country. Here we are. Does anybody know the name of that bridge? It's a pretty nice bridge, right? It's called the Ponte Vecchio. And if you're in this program, you will be walking across that bridge perhaps several times a day. It's absolutely beautiful. It's also where the goldsmiths used to work. So here we are. Florence is ideally situated for travel around Italy and Europe. It's very central. It's a lot less expensive to travel in Europe. Once you're there, you can take buses, you can take really cheap flights and get to different places. So that's great. You'll be exploring Italy, but you'll have opportunities to go elsewhere as well. AIFS, that's the program that I was just talking about, American Institute for Foreign Study, founded in 1964. And it's partner with, I don't know what NC-SAC colleges stands for, but since 1988 for a long time. And they have the people who work for this program are there, they're on the ground. So they're really familiar with Florence. They live there. They know about the housing situation, the food, all of the things that you might have questions about, transportation, they can help you with. And they have a lot of experience dealing with anything that might happen along the way. Oh, look at that old picture. That's pretty funny. I should show you. I think I have old pictures that actually look a little similar to that because that might be 80s right there. Here we are. We leave Saturday, January 31st. And our classes will start on Wednesday, February 4th. So we have a few days to get oriented and ready to start school. We have a mid-semester break. Most students, in my experience, did I mention that I taught there in 2011? I think I did. Most students go and travel during that week. It's a great time to go experience a different part of Florence, or a different part of Europe, rather. And then May 1st, we come back. It's really important. You'll see this is actually exactly 90 days, which is how long you can go without having a visa. So those beginning dates and ending dates are really important. The American Institute for Foreign Studies Student Center is right by the Piazza Santa Croce. So it's very central in Florence. It has a student lounge, it has computers, it has printer access, and student services available 24/7. So whatever you need, they are there to help. They also coordinate orientation, classroom facilities, housing, cultural activities, and excursions. If you want to go somewhere, if you have ideas about something you'd like to do, they are helpful. They can tell you, suggest ways to get to where you want to go and help you plan it.
Yeah.
Do you have a question? I hear somebody talking. So here we are. See, the star is where they're located. Most of the old museums and stuff in Florence are on the left side of the river from this view. And then over on the right side, there's Piazza dei Pitti, the Piazza Palace, and there's also beautiful, beautiful gardens on the other side too. So all of the courses we're offering are UC and CSU transferable. Most of them meet general education requirements. All students enroll in the Italian Life and Culture course. Kylie mentioned that. It's a really great class for learning about everything Italian, like from everything about food and the different festivals that take place in different towns, about their families, about why so many young people in Italy don't get married these days and they live with their parents for a lot longer than Americans do. All kinds of things that you might not know or you'll learn about Italians. Florence is our classroom, and one of the things I learned from when I studied abroad, rather, when I was a student, we started out in London, and I remember the first class, we were supposed to go to class at this college where we were staying, and I sat in that classroom, and I was like, I'm in London. I don't want to be sitting in a classroom, right? It was just like, why am I in a classroom? So maybe I shouldn't tell you this, but I cut class for the rest of the month. Also because I wasn't earning college degree. I wasn't earning anything that was transferable. It was just personal enrichment. And I'm like, I'm going to go out and get on the tube and explore. So for my classes, and I think for the other faculty as well, we really strive to make the outdoors indoor. Like we go and we do stuff. We go to a piazza. I'll show you what the courses are that I'm teaching personally in Florence, but they're all they're all like set up so that you're actually interacting, you're out in the city, you're seeing things, you're writing about what you're seeing and what you're experiencing, rather than, you know, kind of in a dusty library somewhere, which you could be in the United States somewhere. We want you to we want you to experience the culture, experience the city, to be part of it. Optional survival Italian course for 2 hours each. I would totally recommend that if I were you. Italian is a beautiful language. It's not that complicated. It's one of the things that makes it easy is you pronounce every syllable. Some languages aren't like that, like French is really hard because you swallow half of the word, but Italian, you pronounce everything. And it's also a great language to learn because Italian roots are Latin roots. So when you know Italian vocabulary, you're actually expanding your English vocabulary as well. When you see a difficult word, you might recognize something from Italian. So that's really helpful. I think 2 hours a week would be fantastic. If I were you, I would totally take that. I learned to speak Italian. I lived after I traveled in Europe when I was in high school. I ended up going back after when I was in college, and I lived in Europe for a year and a half. And I took Italian lessons, and then I came back to college. I actually learned mostly by speaking with people when I was in Italy, and then I came back to college and learned the grammar. So I got both parts. But I totally recommend it. It's not that hard, and it will be so wonderful. It's a beautiful language. It'd be great for you to be able to speak it. I can't speak English. Okay. So I was talking about this, the life and culture course, learning about the culture and society of Florence and Italy as well. Experiential learning, getting out, doing things, tasting wine, going to markets, learning about the foods from the different communities from the different towns nearby. Lectures and field trips, gastronomy, that means food, customs and traditions, politics and society. It's required for all students, and it's subject to college tuition fees. And you'll need to enroll in the life and culture course that's offered by your own campus. Kelly will help to make sure that that's clear. So here's the courses you can take. So Professor Sparks is teaching astronomy courses, stellar astronomy, astronomy of the solar system, life in the universe, as well as the Italian life and culture course. Contra Costa College, Professor White. So you could take any of these classes. You don't just take Kenyatta or SMCCD classes. You can choose from all of these courses that are offered from all of the different faculty. This is what I think you should take. You should take art. If you're in Italy, if you're in the center of the Renaissance, you should study art. So introduction to digital photography, how cool would that be? Learning to take really great photographs while you're there. And history of medieval and Renaissance art. I think you should totally take that. It's amazing. There's so much in the piazza, even outside, not just inside the museums. There's so much that you can see, so much you can learn about there. And you can also take, she must be a psychology professor, I'm guessing. I don't see her actual field, but human sexuality, child development. That would be really interesting in Florence because, as I alluded to earlier, the norms for children are a little bit different in Italy than they are in the United States. So that would be interesting to learn more about. And the foundations of biology, as well as the Italian life and culture for her students. And here we are. I'm teaching, I mentioned before, I'm English faculty, so I'm teaching English 110, which is a second semester transfer English literature and composition course. So we'll be reading Dante, we'll probably read some Machiavelli, Petrarch. I mean, the Italian literature, classic Italian literature is fantastic. It'd be really fun to read together. The Inferno, maybe you've heard about that. I'm also teaching English 164, which is creative nonfiction. My goal is for each of my students to write a memoir while they're there about their experience in Italy, so that you have something really tangible to look back on, to think about that experience that you had while you were there. And we're going to do survey of film with classic Italian film. So my courses, I'm trying not to have much outside of classwork. Most of the work will be within class, so you don't have to spend a lot of time doing homework. And also my courses are all zero-cost textbooks, so that all the materials that you'll need will be free and available to you. I'm actually thinking that I'm going to try to give them to the students ahead of time as well. So if you want to do the reading ahead of time, you could do it and have it done. So that will allow for even less homework when you're in Italy. Here's some of the classes that are the subsidized cultural activity classes that are available. Cooking class, sporting events, soccer. I don't know if you know, it's pretty big in Italy. There's a beautiful stadium in Florence, walking tours, theater and dance events, wine appreciation or olive oil tasting, and then various day trips. And I think that's it. Is that it? Or is my advanced button just not working, Kylie?
There's
Huh.
more.
Oh, that's weird. Let me see. I'll try this. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Oh,
So
works.
I don't know why suddenly the button wasn't working. So excursion to Siena and San Gimignano. Siena is where they do the running of the bulls in Italy. Did I just make that up? I think that's true. That's true. So it's a really interesting, beautiful city with a big piazza, kind of a square piazza in the middle. Interesting museum. San Gimignano is one of the Italian Tuscan towns on the top of a hill. Super beautiful, super old, really interesting. Oh, that button is just not going to work for me anymore. That's so weird. Let me see. Let's try this one. Housing. I'm sure you wonder about that, where you will be living. So the student apartments have kitchens, shared living areas and a full bath, Wi-Fi and washing machines. No meals are included, and they're about 15 to 30 minutes commute to the study center. Pretty sure that means walking commute, because generally the center of Florence is all walking, so it's easy to get places. Kylie mentioned this before. I remember I was living in one end of Florence, downtown Florence, and I walked on this old street to class. It was so cool every day. It was so beautiful just to have that be my commute, was this beautiful walk. Typically 4 to 6 students are in each apartment and double rooms. Kylie also mentioned about meeting people, like sometimes students don't get a chance to do in community colleges. I went to undergraduate, I went to Stanford, and my friends who studied abroad in the study abroad programs that Stanford offered, they said that was the best semester that they had as an undergraduate, and it was where they made their most friends. So I think it's true, like this kind of experience, whatever institution you're in, having the chance to study abroad, because you're all kind of thrown into it together and you're all figuring it out together. So it's the perfect opportunity to make friends. And it's really life-changing, and having that experience with somebody means that you have a connection that you don't share with other people. So included in the program free, a shared student apartment. You have emergency contact and services, all that I talked about before, about if you want to go somewhere, if you have ideas for travel you want to do, if you need support. The orientation program and workshops, guided tour, weekly subsidized activities, including visits to museums, monuments, walking tours, cooking class, full-day excursions to Siena and San Gimignano and to Chianti wine region. You're in the middle of it when you're in Florence. Medical insurance, pre-departure services, and orientation. So what's not included? Airfare. They will offer an airfare that you can take advantage of, but it's additional to what you're already paying. You might be able to use, if you have miles or if your parents have miles, you might be able to use miles or something else to get a ticket. Your regular community college tuition fees, which are the same as you're paying here, but you'll still have to pay it for these courses. Textbooks, although my courses are going to be zero-cost textbooks, personal expenses, including passport fees and any other travel you want to do on the weekends or spring break or whatever. Meals, except as specified, there will be a few meals included, and then insurance. Oh, okay, now that one's not working. There we go. So there is a meal plan available, 30 vouchers for use at local restaurants in Florence. Kylie, is she still here? Oh, she left. I would love to know what students thought about that, if it was a useful thing, because if it is, it can be a substantial
Yeah.
reduction.
I can talk about that.
Yeah.
Kylie and Vanessa, they actually talk about this voucher a lot in our office. They said it's worth it because the restaurant, there's many different restaurants you can choose from. And for the student meal, they give you quite a bit of food. Both said that you can take half of the portion back home for next meal. And another good thing about the voucher is it's inexpensive. And also, it's a good way of making friends because you can, hey, who wants to go to use your voucher tonight for dinner? Let's go together. So it's a good way to hang out together because many students actually purchase this voucher.
Okay, that's really good to know. That's really good to know. Great. And here's some information on scholarships. So it's wonderful that you're all planning ahead for this because it gives you time to apply for scholarships. Like these, there's a whole long list we can share. I'm sure that Cully, we can share this slide somewhere, right? So people can see all this information. And I would also advocate, as I mentioned before, I didn't have the money to go abroad when I was in high school. My parents didn't have that kind of money. I certainly didn't have that money. So what I did was more than a year in advance, I started saving everything. And I started asking for my birthday, for Christmas. Anytime somebody wanted to give me something, I said, hey, what I really want is a donation toward my trip because I really wanted to go to Europe. And so I babysat, I cleaned houses, I delivered newspapers, I did all kinds, I was a lifeguard, I did all kinds of things to make the money. And so it's good that you're starting in advance so that you have the time, the possibility of doing that. But here's also some scholarships we have had. Kelly knows we've had really good success with scholarships, with students getting these scholarships. So it's not at all impossible. I know the Gilman's International Scholarships, one of their primary categories is community college students. They want you all to have the opportunity to study abroad.
Exactly. There are a lot of scholarship opportunities, and on top of scholarship, for the semester abroad program, I think maybe it's in next slide, is a financial aid. A lot of students are able to use their financial aid, apply for financial aid to, yeah, is that no, that's not. Maybe it's not on the slide. So
Okay.
make sure to talk to your financial aid officer in your college. You are full time because you're taking 12 units, and you can use apply for financial aid if you're eligible. In addition, if you take 15 units, I was told, you are taking 12 units, right? You get a full scholarship. No, full financial aid. But if you're taking additional 3 units, you actually get the additional financial aid. That's what I was told. If, of
Wow.
course, yeah, if you have the capacity to take 15 units, I think it's also important to know that you are abroad, you're taking 12 units, and you need to allocate some time to have fun.
Yes. So creative funding ideas, lifestyle changes, cut down on expenses, gifts, and ask for gifts of money. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if any of you have a Starbucks habit, but one of my daughters does. And, it's easy to spend $7 a day at Starbucks, whereas she could put that money aside and save it up and very quickly save quite a bit of money. Side sales, garage sales. One of the things she does do, maybe you do this too, she sells her old clothes online. She's constantly like recycling and selling things. Crowdfunding, GoFundMe, LAs, Venmo campaigns, creative ideas for support me. I really want to study abroad. And you might be surprised how much your relatives, your friends might be able to help you too. Eligibility requirements. You must be 18 years or older by departure date. You must have a 2.25 GPA and have completed at least 12 units. I love that picture. This is a different one. So if you're interested, I think the AFS just put this one in here. Or Kelly, do you want to talk to this one? This is about the English program.
London, it's in fall semester, so we can talk more. If anybody interested, can reach out to me. Yeah.
Okay. And I think, let's see. So is this experience right for me? Study abroad can be a challenge and create stress. So it's a good idea to speak openly and honestly prior to applying with your study abroad director to discuss any DSPS accommodations you may have. Think about physical and mental health issues, physical limitations, dietary requirements, medications you may have. We have a fantastic example. Kelly has a fantastic example working for her of a student who is in a wheelchair and he did study abroad, right? I think he's done it twice. So it's not,
Yes.
these things are not limitations, but they are things to be aware of and to like figure out how to make your experience successful. Yeah, and also discuss expectations and challenges posed by study abroad location and culture. If there's anything that might be extra challenging. And here is information on how to apply. And you're here, so you've already gotten a sense of that, and you've already met Kelly, and you already have met me, so you know people who to talk to and where to get more information. So let's see, do we have any questions?
Okay, maybe we can stop sharing so we can see
Sure.
everybody's face.
Great idea. Hello.
Yes. Maybe I should stop recording.
Sure.
Okay, we'll stop recording.